And my thing about Lala having this bad of a breakdown is like, did she really think that Rome was going to protect her over Lyric? Because if she thought that, that was pretty stupid. Good morning, everybody. Happy weekend. Let's talk about the drama that went down after the nomination ceremony yesterday, where we actually got to see right after the nomination ceremony. That hasn't happened in a very, very long time from what I can remember. Although I do have some notes before we get to the nomination fallout that I didn't get to talk about in my two videos yesterday. Drew, I can't stand him. Look, I've been talking a shit about this guy for several days now. The only reason I don't like his game is that I feel like his long game is not going to be good if the vets just have all this ammo on him like they do, because he tells them every single facet of his game. But Drew is good at trying to miss some people. Like, I feel like he does too good of a job with Melody, which is the thing that keeps me from being able to root for my fellow Pisces Melody. I feel like he was successful even before the nomination ceremony in trying to show Melody and maybe even Lyric that Rome is the one that threw their alliance under the bus. To Devon's, even though Drew did it first. Drew is also going around telling people that Angela was the one running that meeting that night when they were being so obvious in the HOH room, and that he told Rome that Haley was the one that wouldn't answer the door, didn't want to answer the door. So he's going around placing targets on other people too. I will give him credit for that. I still think his actual individual game sucks for himself. But you can't say that he is not a mess, because I do feel like he is a part of people blaming Angela and Haley more than Drew, who's obviously being two-faced or should obviously being two-faced, or even Devons. He's doing a good job of helping Devons keep a target off of his back, because he and Devons are close. But let's get to the nomination fallout. After Devons did his nominations, which was Lyric, Melody, and Jason, he also threw Rome's game under the bus about the names he gave to try and save, like the people he wanted to be the safest. And of course, at this same nomination ceremony, this was all Angela's idea. And Angela wanted to finally call out Jason for all of his lying. She had been really wanted to do that, dying to do that. You could see it these past few days that she's just wanting more and more to call out Jason. While she finally got her chance, Jason, who was upset with, because I think Angela called him a messy bitch, he was getting called out on some of his other lies. And he's trying to tell people that he was going around telling white lies to people to trick people like Haley, because Haley, of course, has to always open her mouth. So Jason told Haley the thing is that nobody can stand her ass, which is the truth. People be placating Haley, which is getting so old to me on the feeds. Rome tried to defend himself, saying that Devons made him dwindle down his list of who he wanted to be safe, and that Devons is a good ball player, which I thought was a good strategy by Rome, because to me, it should be obvious that Devons was trying to get information to use against Rome, to try and get people upset with Rome, to try and break up ties. And some people like Lala, too goddamn emotional to see that. Lala was crying for hours, I feel like. I was over it in the first few minutes last night. In fact, I would say that her crying, her breakdown, ruined all the potential good feeds. Because really, we only got like 5 minutes of good drama before the emotions started to take over. And my thing about Lala having this bad of a breakdown is like, did she really think that Rome was going to protect her over Lyric? Because if she thought that, that was pretty stupid. Like, Rome just named his top two people. Lala wasn't a part of that. I can see how Lala feels some kind of way, but I wouldn't say for certain that Rome is her number one. We don't know who her number one is. It's someone between Rome, Taylor, Jason. Anyway, I thought Lala was being way too overdramatic. But when they all got up after this nomination ceremony, Rome started yelling at Haley about her being a snarky bitch who is unbearable as a human being, where he was 100% correct. Like, don't get it wrong here. Rome is 100% correct in his assessment of Haley being an unbearable human being. However, Rome getting up, yelling in a woman's face, I don't condone it. It is very aggressive. Luckily, there was plenty of people standing between them, or it might have even looked even worse than it was. Especially if Rome's not gonna, have this same energy for Devins or Camus or Chuck like he has for Haley. Haley, I guess, during that confrontation said that Rome had small balls. Haley will throw out her snark. She does have that snark. But, like, to me, also, Haley embraces being the mean girl. So, like, I have no problem with someone having to curse her out. I don't know if Rome had to be the one to do it, and he went about it in an aggressive way. However, to be fair, Haley has consistently been the most aggressive person in the house. Angela was the one, trying to console the crying Lala. I don't really know where Angela and Lala are with each other, and I have to continue to be honest. I don't care where they are with each other in the game. I don't know if we're ever going to get drama between them. I don't know if I want drama between them. I feel like their relationship is so weird to me on feeds. And I think it's weird to me because they both seem disingenuous with each other, in my opinion. Angela also did, she did a lot of crying about her fight with Jason as expected. The house was so emotional after this drama that I felt it was not fun to watch everyone be so emotional afterwards. But Angela did apologize to Jason for calling him a bitch. Rome eventually had his hour of crying too, cried in Lala's arms, told Lala, I understand if you don't trust me for the rest of this game, but I'm hoping that you'll trust me more than those people on the other side. I'm still going to go to war for you. So Rome still trying to gather troops for his side. I still don't think it's working very well overall. That side is people that are way too slow to play, and people that are, I don't know if they're afraid to play or if they just don't know how. But now I do feel like there are people skeptical of Rome and Jason. So to me, there's still not technically two sides in this house. Melody did have a good post-noms ceremony, though. I feel like with people starting to trust Rome and Jason less, we have people like Lala and Taylor saying they would rather take Melody off the block if they win the veto or something like that, or convince someone to take Melody off the block. And then I think she also had a good chat with Devins. As I said yesterday, Devins can be easily swayed, it seems like to me. And I feel like Melody did a good enough job of trying to repair that beef, even though Devins already probably saw her as a pawn after Angela put this plan in his mind. I feel like he sees Melody as a pawn even more now. Drew and Devins eventually had a conversation about what to do with the veto, and Drew thought it's best to take off Melody or Lyric, although taking off Lyric is stupid. If the plan becomes someone wins the veto, especially on Devins' side, and they use the veto on Lyric, why? Because then both the showman's people are still safe. If there's a showman's in the house, you have them both on the block. I think Devin sees that, though. Devin said that he believed Melody, that she would be the one Devins would pull off. You would think Drew would do that, too, because he's supposed to be so close to Melody. I feel like production wants to protect their showmans. They usually do. I would be shocked if Rome goes home this week. If someone from the showmans goes home, I think it would be Lyric, and then they have that storyline that Rome is trying to avenge Lyric. I mean, they've already had such a speed run at a showman's, saying they love each other after less than 2 weeks. Why not end it very dramatically with Lyric getting voted out? However, I do feel like a lot of this could end up falling onto Jason, which would suck because I feel like he's one of the only people on feeds willing to give us drama when necessary. Can he be over the top? Yes, of course. He's going to be Selena when he can, but I'm enjoying him on feeds more than Lyric or Rome, if I'm being honest. Rome and Lyric had a conversation last night. Rome trying to hype her up, trying to hype himself up. He is telling Lyric that she needs to do what she needs to do for her own game to stay. Rome saying stuff like, "You don't want to fuck with me. You don't want to make an enemy out of me." He told Lyric, we're going to be here for a long time. You're still with me. Ain't no one taking my girl away from me. Hey, I love you. Kissed her on the cheek before she left. Very dramatic here by Rome. So like I said, I don't know if he's trying to hype himself up here. But again, I think it would be quite a dramatic exit if one of these two do go home this week. Taylor, I like Taylor as a person. I feel like her game is very subdued. It's not the worst thing at the beginning of a game. I feel like her social game is working for her. She has some reminders of me of Azza in season 23, where she just really got far because of her social game. I can see Taylor doing that. But one thing Taylor does do that I like is that so far we have seen her really have good conversations with the HOH. And that is one of the things that made Dee want to keep her if there was a tie last week. And right now, Devins keeps telling Taylor that Taylor doesn't talk a lot of game, but he still wants to keep her around. So Taylor doing something right. After the drama of the nomination ceremony, Dee and Devins did have a celebration in the HOH because it was so messy and the other side is falling apart. They also know that Angela did not have to do all that she did, and it makes Angela look worse than them. But I will say these survivors are getting quite smug. And I don't know if that's really a good look for Big Brother. Here come these survivor players into your game. And right now they are showing up your supposed super fans of the game. In fact, I'd say Devins is doing well and could come out of this not being public enemy number one. Even though he's the one that made this move, I can see some people on the other side, depending on who wins, maybe Devins not being like the target. He still has more work to do this week, I think, to really solidify that. It also depends on who wins next week. I think Angela setting this up for the vets was a terrible move. And I kind of like that it's falling on Angela a bit because it is her fault. And Drew going around telling people that Angela was the main one talking in the meeting, not going to be great for Angela. And Angela blowing up at the nomination ceremony, not going to be great for her. So this move could make the vets bigger targets than the likes of Haley, who people can't stand, which would be fine with me. It's kind of what the vets deserve right now. Mallory and Melody did have a conversation about putting up the icons, which I won't call them. That's why I call them vets, instead of Kamu or Haley or Chuck. And we know Mallory does not like Dee. So I like that people are at least having this conversation because the vets should make themselves a bigger target this week to anyone in the game paying attention. But like, do I actually expect the emotional, slow playing side to win HOH? I don't. We are unfortunately far from that side coming together. Melody could win, I guess. She seems like the one wanting to play the hardest on that side. Rome too now. I don't know what Melody would do though. I fear, as much as I like her gameplay, too many people would be in her ear and she might make the wrong move. I'm actually excited to see what agenda production's going to pick with the edits, because to anyone that knows me, I don't watch the Sunday and Wednesday episodes because I think the episodes on this show suck, so I just watch the Thursday episodes. But I might have to watch Sunday and Wednesday this week to see what agenda production is pushing. Because we know production loves a showmance. Are they really going to make the audience feel sorry for Rome that this big alliance wouldn't let him in the room the other night? And now it looks like Rome versus the world. Or we know they have an agenda with the vets here. They made sure the vets won the first HOH. They have all these powers coming in. Angela got the first vote. Luckily, she didn't get a power. So are they going to push the vets agenda to still be the people to root for? But production has also loved their mega like characters in the past. So where is Kamu and Haley and Chuck going to fall into the edit? I do know one thing with this show. The gay guy is going to get a bad edit, so I expect a lot to fall on top of Jason's head. Unfortunately, that's one thing I can expect from this edit. But that was yesterday. We did have a good solid 5 minutes of drama after the nomination ceremony before people were just too emotional about it.